first built this box about 10 years ago, and I always loved the design, so I figured I'd remake it. But I also created a template that I'll make available on Patreon in case you want to follow along. I'll make the digital version available too, but a CNC is absolutely not required. I'm doing a small production run of these boxes that will be for sale on my website, so I'm using the tools that I have currently available in my shop to speed things up a little bit. The first time I built this box, I had a pretty limited set of tools. So don't be discouraged by the tools and machinery that you see here that I've been collecting for over 20 years. It really doesn't matter how you cut out the inside part of the box, but the important thing is that you do that first. I'm gluing up 2 layers of wood for the main part of my box, but only because I had some smaller pieces of quilted maple that I wanted to use up. The spindle sander was actually the inspiration for this box. When I first bought the machine, I wanted to try and design projects with more curves, and this is what I came up with. I like making the bottom of the box in 2 layers, so it adds a little stripe of contrast. At this point, I'm just cutting everything to its rough shape. Go easy with the glue so it doesn't squeeze out onto the inside corners of your box. I had some beautiful rosewood I wanted to use, so I'm making the most of it by repairing a few cracks. By placing the template diagonally and flipping it each time, you can make the wood grain look like the veins of a leaf when it's all done. I had some thin strips of maple left over from another project. They need to be flexible enough so that they easily bend between the 2 halves of your top pieces. I'm gluing the lids together with 2-part epoxy for extra strength. And I'm gluing it down on a temporary plywood backer board covered in blue tape just to keep it flat. This is the template for the underside of the lid, and it should fit perfectly inside the box. But I'm realizing now that the actual inside of the box is slightly bigger than the template because I've sanded it smooth. And what I should have done was trace the inside of the box onto a piece of paper before I attached the bottom. So instead, I'm just going to use a little trick I learned in kindergarten. So I'm making a new template for the underside of the lid that fits perfectly inside the sanded box. But because of the difficult grain on this quilted maple, I decided it would be safer to just use my sander instead of template routing the part. This subtle angle on the inner part of the lid will just make it easier to get on and off the box. Now I'm using my template to align the leaf shape with the curves in the lid, and also figure out where the inner piece will go. That inner piece doesn't just keep the lid seated on the box, but it also reinforces that curved joint on the top of the lid that would otherwise be way too weak on its own. I'm doing the rough shaping now, but the final sanding will be done with the lid on the box. And finally, a step that I didn't take with the original boxes, I'm just using my orbital sander to shape the top so that it looks a little bit more organic and refined. Budget Branding Iron sent me another incredible brand for my smaller projects and boxes. I'll leave a link in the description, so be sure to check them out. A huge thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon for encouraging me to go out into the shop late at night after the kids are in bed and produce these videos. If you want to join the club, get access to my SketchUp files, t-shirts, stickers, and other merchandise, or see your name at the end of these videos, just find me on Patreon. See you later.